I want to tell you a joke. So I'll start it like this. For 9 months, not a single new chapter. Writing detoxes, self-therapies, some secret investigations, routines, holidays, thinking about dropping out of the college. And what do you think? I wrote the whole chapter out of nothing. New point of view, new character. This Monday, I didn't even knew how will I ever write from his point of view. Then I sat and wrote everything. So what changed? I don't know what changed. I have been doing so much to find out what wouldn't let me write for 9 months. Can you imagine? 9 months I was returning to the closed door just to realize I was trying to open it with the wrong key. Funny story, I might as well cry. If you remember my video about the talent, I have created this loop, like this circle. It's simple, and it should have worked like this. It should not have worked like I'm writing something 2 steps forward, 5 steps back, 1 step forward, deleting everything. Yet here I am. I don't know what and how to call it. I don't know what happened because it's been like maybe 3 months. Yes, it was almost 3 months ago. I was right. It was almost 3 months ago. And I thought it will help because I wanted to write further. And if you can see this list hanging here, I made points that should be written in that 12th chapter. Guess what? It's been hanging here for 2 months at least. I haven't wrote a thing. I think it was Wednesday. I was in a hurry, like I said in my previous weekly recap. I have limited time with my computer now since I share it with my siblings. So now, when I believe that I need to sit and concentrate and bring myself together and for half an hour just to stare at my manuscript to write something, I realized that was a pathetic excuse because apparently it didn't even took me half an hour. It was less, and I wrote this chapter, and it's so good. Like, in the sense that it was just, like I said, it's a different point of view. It's a completely different character, like from the characters I've written before, because I wrote like from 2 perspectives, and these 2 characters are alike, and it didn't give me this much of diversity. Plus, it is very hard write from their perspective because basically 2 of them are geniuses, and I should be like a demigod or god because they act like demigods. I couldn't bring myself to continue. Then this 12th chapter, it is very hard because, okay, so to start, if you read my prologue, I fitted the whole novel into 1 prologue. I don't know, should I pity myself or the reader? But the 12th chapter is similar, okay? There's a lot of things that happening. And I don't know how to fix it. Even if I think about it, I might start a second headache. I have enough. And then I just sat and started recalling what happened, what changed this week. I don't know what changed. Nothing changed, only worse. It became worse. Everything became worse. I have less and less time for the book. It's paradoxical, yet it works.
Mike says it's both. How can it be both?
It can't.
It can't. But it is. It's paradoxical, and yet it works.
I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't really that I changed my approach to the book. Yes, of course, I worked in some ways that I detach myself from the book. It was hard, it wasn't pleasant, but I think I managed. Nothing happened, okay? I accepted that I'll try different things and none of them will work. I didn't do anything, and I wrote the whole chapter. And I like this chapter. It's so much Avi like this character. Though I am a complete opposite of this character at some point. So I can't say that I'm playing dress-ups with point of views with these different characters. This character is the opposite. Yet when I wrote this chapter, it was so much fun. I laughed out loud. He's just such a character that I don't know. I didn't knew I needed to write from his point of view. I'm still unsure, but it was so much fun. I still see how the story will continue, but it was so much fun. I don't know what changed. I wrote the whole chapter. It happened once when I wrote from Klaus' point of view. My head hurted afterwards. It took me the whole day to write it, but still was worth it, and I was planning to write it. Here, complete opposite. I don't know what happened. Honestly, it was weird because at first I wrote it by hand. Because once again, as I said, I no longer have the luxury of sitting in front of my computer. So I wrote it in a hurry, like with half of my mind present. As you can see, it's not much. Yet I wrote full chapter. I've known those things for a while, but then of course I did some medical researches. But to say that I wasn't doing this all along is wrong as well, because that's what I have been doing. I've been doing my researches. I have been reading a lot. I've been searching up. I was trying to find. I was experimenting. I was discovering some parallels, plot, kingdoms, everything. I can't say that this new medical research should have changed this much. Yet here I am. So it was such a hot-headed decision because I fitted this chapter in the middle of already existing chapters. So I had to move it in between. Once again, I haven't thought about it. Like, I wasn't thinking about... I later discovered that I made a timeline hole. I later fixed it. So I just hot-headedly, on hot hat, I just pushed it in between, wrote it. That was some unknown language. The words, the grammar, everything was wrong. That was probably some dead language, and even then, it was so messy. Yet when I cleaned it all up, I polished it, everything, it turned out better than I was expecting. Because when I wrote it here, I thought it wasn't the time. I was just writing it to fit it later, to write it much later. But then I thought, well, why can't I use it now? One thought, and then I was laughing to myself. It was fun, actually. Once again, to think that it could change that much. I tried so much. I feel like So, in one hand, I'm grateful. Because it was a pleasant surprise. It was great. You can't imagine how happy I was. On the other hand, I am so frustrated. What changed? Why couldn't it happen before? I don't understand. It makes no sense. I really did a lot of research to understand what could actually stand on my way. I was searching, maybe it was my writing that turned boring. Maybe it was stakes. Maybe it's just my plot. But I wasn't planning any of this. And plus, not really, I can't say that I made that some stakes were revealed in this chapter and it kind of flowed further. I don't know how much effective this chapter is right now. I still believe it's useful. I do not plan to remove it. So I don't know whether to be grateful or offended. I feel both. Then I could as well. I tried to think maybe I have been thinking about Aviel more this week. No, I was thinking about other character, about Elijah, because right now he is my main headache. No longer. But he was my main headache. I was thinking about him like for 3 weeks maybe, because I feel that there is something in this character. He's just a bit playing a mystery person, and I couldn't quite understand him. Like I saw him as like he could have worked as a side character, but unfortunately, for some reason, I decided that he's the main character as well. So I cannot say that I have been thinking about it more. That's why I wrote it. I wasn't thinking about Javier at all. Even more, this Monday, like I said, I was thinking about, oh, I still have Javier. I can't, like, nothing changed. And it's offensive because nothing changed. Also, it wasn't evening. And it wasn't morning, like I was planning to shape my routine. Nothing significant. Yet there stands the chapter that pleasantly surprised me and apparently opened my eyes. All this time I thought I wasn't structured enough, that was the problem. But again, this new chapter crosses everything. Because there was no structure in this chapter, none. It was just this unknown flow. Once again, returning to UC psychology, that could be self. Well, then where were the managers, or did they finally come to terms? I don't know, maybe it was partly Klaus in this scene as well, but elsewhere, well, yes, I don't know, there's a lot of nuances, and usually they are the obstacle, whereas here, they are the things that helped me go further. Believe me or not, this scene also magically helped the plot. How? I don't know. I have been writing these 12 chapters to open the plot. I don't know, that's a miracle, I don't know. 9 months, I have been trying everything. I have been searching for everything. Like, what was the problem? I thought at first that's the story. And then I thought that was the outside world. Then I thought that was me. I solved the issue with me. It still didn't work. I do write small dialogues usually, or like small scene that still like has no anchor. I cannot place it anywhere. Like there's no place for such scenes. Then out of nothing, I decided that I will just push it in between. Like I will push all the chapters inside and place it here. Why? How? I don't remember. I don't know. That's how it looked like. So I write it here. I looked at it. I appreciated it. Then, without a second thought, I just wrote chapter 9 and just wrote it all the way down. Then later I customized the divider, everything. Nothing more, no planning, no plotting, no outlines, nothing. And I thought I lost the ability to write like this. I thought that was no longer possible. Also, I wasn't praying or anything. I wasn't crying on something. It was just another horrible week. Like, even more, I was practicing this week all the time because soon I'm having an exam concert. And I really did not have that much time thinking about it or sitting and outlining it. So you can imagine it was a final week. I really do not have time, like as I said, to sit in front of it and just wait for the enlightenment. I wasn't waiting for it. I don't even remember how I wrote it. Also, that's weird. Usually the most emotionally charged scenes I don't remember writing. Like how the chain of thoughts worked that I wrote them. I do not remember. Interesting observation. How? I remember already writing the scene. I don't remember what happened before, and rarely I remember what happened after. This video isn't really productive, like no mystery unlocked, But I couldn't skip this nuance because 9 months have passed. 9 months. That's almost a year. And I haven't wrote a single chapter. And now the history happened. Does that count that I finally wrote the 12 chapters? I do not close the question because I apparently will leave the tab open because I have no idea what happened. Yes, I'll just think about it, I guess, as always.